Hi guys, Miss Herbert here, and I just wanted to pop on so that I could explain your math activity for today. Yesterday you were working on ordering numbers, and we did that in Zoom class. But I noticed that a couple people said, this is a little bit hard for me. And I noticed some people in class had the same problem. So I wanted to come back and make sure that you really understood what we were doing, how you order numbers, why you order numbers, and a great strategy to use. Remember that in math, we use strategies all the time, and strategies are there to make sure you get your answer correct and that you're doing the problem the correct way. So I'm going to teach you that strategy for ordering numbers today. Okay, let's get started. First, I'm going to open up a sample question. Let's talk about first why you would order numbers. Why do we even do that? Why not just put it in our phone and let our phone order the numbers? Or why not just look at the numbers and say, well, that number looks the biggest? Well, we want to order numbers to make sure that we know which numbers are the greatest and which numbers are the least and what comes in between. So let's look at how we would use that in real life. In real life, you might compare numbers or order them if you're looking at scores to see who won a game or to see who won a contest or who sold the most. Look right here. Here's the home team. They scored 47 points. And here's the visitor team. They scored 34 points. I know that 47 is greater than, see, I'm going to use this symbol right here, greater than 35. So I know that my home team won. Down here, these are some real scores from the Super Bowl. The Patriots had 34 points, and the Atlanta Falcons had 28 points. So I know that 34 has 3 tens, 1, 2, 3, and 4 ones. I know that 28 has 2 tens and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ones. I know that 3 tens is greater than 2 tens. So I know that 34 is greater. Then I can say, oh, look here, the Patriots won again. Man, I really hope they don't win this year. Let's go Texans, right? Yeah, Texans? I hope so. All right, let's clear those drawings. Look right here. We have the NBA top scores of all times. And these numbers are really big numbers. They're bigger numbers than what we would use in second grade. Look at this. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he scored 38,387 points in his NBA career. Here is, let's see. Oh, look, here's Shaquille O'Neal. Man, I always thought he was one of the top scorers. I guess he is, but there's still a lot of people above him. He scored a total of 28,596 points. Here is Kobe, one of the all-time greats. We miss you, Kobe. He scored 33,643 points in his career. So someone took these points, they ordered them from least down here to greatest up here, and they were able to say, who's the greatest scorer of all time? And it looks like right here, it's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He scored more points than all of these other people in his career. So if we use things like ordering numbers, we'll be able to tell who scored the most points, who won a game. Maybe if you were seeing who sold the most of a certain item, you could order those as well. But today we're going to order numbers so that you learn how to do that. So I'm going to show you a sample question. Let's look, and we're going to learn a strategy. Here's our question. It says we're going to order the numbers from least. Remember, least is the smallest because it starts with an L, like little. And G is the greatest because it starts with a G, like giant, okay? So we're going to order these numbers from least to greatest. If we're looking at a number line, our least numbers are at the beginning and the numbers get bigger as we go on. Okay, so let's look at the steps to ordering these numbers. It says here that my first task is to make a hundreds, a tens, and a ones chart. So let's go ahead and do that. I've got my ones, my tens, and my hundreds. Remember, an HTO chart stands for hundreds, tens, and ones. Okay. It says next, add your numbers. So let's change our color. How about green? And let's add our numbers. Our first number right here is 86. 86 has 8 tens and 6 ones. Our next number is 102. It has 100, 0 tens, and 2 ones. Our next number is 112. It's got 100, 110, and 2 ones. Our next number is 63. It's got 6 tens and 3 ones. Okay. Looking at this hundreds, tens, and ones chart, it tells us that the next thing I'm going to do is compare the numbers. Compare numbers. What does compare numbers mean? Let's look right here, and I want to grab this right here. I'm going to bring it over here so that we can see. Okay, this chart right here tells us about comparing numbers. It says if you're looking at numbers to find the greatest one, it's going to be the number that's larger. So let's look here. We know that 8 is greater than 5 because if we stacked up 8 things, it would go taller than 5. We know that 8 comes after 5 on the number line. If two numbers are equal, if we stack them up, they'd be the same height. If a number is less than, if we stacked them up, it would be littler. Okay, so I think we all remember what comparing numbers is like. So let's get back to comparing these numbers. Let's look. I'm looking for the what? Least to greatest. That's right. I'm looking for least to greatest. So a strategy that I use, if I want to decide which number is the least to greatest, I'm going to put them in order from, I'm going to use this area down here, least to greatest. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I write the L on the side that I'm going to place my least number. So least is the first one. I'm going to write my L over here. Greatest is my last one in this case, so I'm going to write my G over here. I know that my numbers will be getting bigger as I go down the line. So my smallest number should be here, and my biggest number should be here. Let's go ahead and get started. And I think I'm going to look for my biggest number first. I always like doing that, even if we're going least to greatest, because for me, it's easier to start over here in the hundreds and say, which one's the biggest? So let's look. 86, does it have any hundreds? No, it has no hundreds. I know that's not my biggest number. 102, hey, look, that's got 100. So I'm going to put a little mark here so that I know that, maybe baby might be my answer. 112, oh, that's got 100 too. There's another maybe baby might be my answer. Does 63 have any hundreds? Nope. So no way, Jose. That is not my biggest number. And we know up here, no way, Jose, not my biggest number. It's between 102 and 112. So I already know that my 100s places are the same. They are equal to each other. So I know that I need to move on to the next place value. I need to look at my tens next to tell me what is greater. So what is greater here? 0 or 1? 1. 1 is greater than 0. So I know that 1 is greater than 0. I have now found my greatest number. My greatest number is going to be 112. I'm going to write that right there. I know that since this had 100 in it and none of the other numbers did, that's my next greatest number. So 102 is going to go here. Remember, we're putting our numbers in order right now from least to greatest, but I decided to start by finding my greatest number because that's easiest for my brain. Okay, now let's look. So I've already used the number 102. I'm just going to cross it out so that I know I'm done with it. 112 I used, I'm going to cross that out so I know that I'm done with that one too. Now it's between 86 and 63. They have no hundreds, remember? So I'm looking at the tens place. Is it 8 or 6? I know that this is 8 tens or 80. This is 6 tens, so 60. What is bigger? Oh, I know you're already saying it at your house. You know that 8 is greater than 6. If 8 is greater than 6, this is my next greatest number, 86. And what's left? 63. 63 would go right there. Okay. And you're going to see a lot of times that you're going to have to put it in order right here on something like this on a blank. So you would just go ahead and do that. And I'm going to show you how you would do that. You would put those, like we said, we had our least over here, our greatest already over here. We already did all the work. I'm going to go back and I'm going to look up on the slide ahead. I'm going to say we decided it was 63, 86, 102, and 112. And you can check your work by saying, is this my smallest number? Yep. Is this my biggest number? Yep, good to go. All right, and you can use some symbols. You can say 63 is less than 86. 86 is less than 102, and 102 is less than 112. Those symbols help you know that the numbers are getting bigger as they go down the line. 63 to 86, getting bigger. 86 to 102, getting bigger. 102 to 112, it's getting bigger. You've got your greatest number on this end over here and your least number over on that end. All right? If you have any questions, make sure that you ask an adult to contact your teacher and that you get help. Don't just be confused. Get help, okay? Before we go, I want to share my screen one more time and make sure that you know what to do in this seesaw activity as well. Okay, so let's get it up here. Okay, so here's your seesaw activity that you're going to see today. It's ordering numbers activity number 2, okay? When you go on to your activity, you're going to see the numbers down here at the bottom. You can click on them and move them where they belong, okay? Let me get to a sample so you can see that. All right, so when you get there, goodness gracious. When you get there, sorry guys, I should have had it up before I started recording. Sometimes we all make mistakes, right? So now you get to see the teacher side of Seesaw. See all my wonderful activities here? Okay. There we go. Look at this for tomorrow morning. Look at that. I'm putting it so you can see it tomorrow morning. All right. So when we go to your activity, you're going to pull it up. I just want to show you so that you know what to do because I know that sometimes these can be a little bit confusing. And you're going to actually move these numbers. The least number, you're going to do exactly what I did before. You're going to draw right over here. You can draw that ones, tens, and hundreds chart. You can line your numbers up in the chart. You can line them up. You can say 24, 102, 98, 68, and 57, okay? You can do it just like we just did. Then look right here. Here's a freebie answer. Do any of these have hundreds? They sure do. Look at this number right here, 102. Wow. That shows me that's the greatest number because it's the only number that has a digit in the hundreds place. If it has a digit in the hundreds place, I know that it's greater. So I'm going to click on my moving tool. I'm going to click on 102 and I'm just going to boop, 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 move it all the way up there to the greatest spot. All right, and I know that my answer, I can write right here. I can get my writing tool and say that I know 102 is the greatest number because, and you can use your math talk. You can say things like, it has a digit in the hundreds place, it has a 1 in the hundreds place, and nobody else does. You can say things like 100 is greater than 0 because there's nothing over here in these other numbers. Use whatever math talk you need to use to make sure you explain why that is the greatest number. Down here, watch. It's kind of tricky. Here we're going greatest to least. It's the same thing. You're just going to make sure that your greatest number is over here and your least number is over here. All right. I think you guys got it. I think you guys are going to be just fine. If you have questions, again, ask an adult to help you or ask an adult to get your teacher to help. And I'll see you tomorrow or today. Actually, if you're watching this, I'll probably see you today later on at 2 o'clock for Math Zoom. All right, guys, have a great day. Bye.